Travel the Spaceways by Victor LaVelle. Yeah, so this is a short story that you can find in the Black Stars collection of kind of like Afrocentric science fiction kind of tales and stories. This is written by Victor LaVelle, once again one of my favorite working authors right now. He is kind of like a African American author that works in like science fiction and horror, something that is pretty near and dear to me, of course. As an African American author of science fiction and horror myself, but yeah, this was an interesting quick little read. It's kind of exclusively the audiobook is exclusively on Audible. That's kind of like where I heard it from here. So all right, let's hop into the review. So what's it about? The main protagonist, named Grimace, I believe, is a bum in New York City and is ordered by otherworldly voices to burn black churches, and is egged on by his bag of empty trash cans that he just happened to find on the street. Eventually he runs into a trans woman who he then kind of falls in love with very quickly. He then becomes wanted by the police for the arsons, or the voices that he's been hearing may not entirely be in his head, and the woman he fell for may be harboring more secrets than other than just being trans. So what do I like about it? It's a story about a mentally ill or possibly mentally ill vagrant in New York City that is egged on to burn black churches and mosques by voices in his head. For something that comes off that kind of twisted and sorted, it's actually written pretty funny. There's like a couple of like really good laughs, good chuckles in it. It's a short story, so it's you get into it and get into the story pretty quickly and get out of it. And Victor LaVelle, on both accounts, is kind of like an expert author, so like he's really good at both of that. Writing stuff that's really well, and he can put humor into like really kind of dark subjects, and like getting the story, getting the characters, getting the conflict, and getting out pretty quickly. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was the good. What I don't like about it, however, there is a lot of anti-religious subtext to it. Like the whole premise of the story is voices telling him to burn the churches, in a way of kind of clearing the noise of like the collective black consciousness, is what I'm kind of reading from this. And it's more like in order for us to kind of push through our like issues and conflicts, right, on a social scale, and economic too. Basically, we have this interference that's clouding our mind, clouding everything, coming from the church. It's basically the church's fault, and so we have to get rid of the churches in order for us to be our like best self, our better self. It's it's a thought. It's an idea, I guess. Not something I definitely don't agree with it, but it's an idea. It's something to kind of like write about and put out there. And I like his take on it is this kind of like very kind of out there, kind of like science fiction-y kind of like thing. This is kind of like a Twilight Zone episode, so it's kind of goofy, it's kind of ham-fisted. But that's definitely what he's trying to say here, is that like a lot of the problems that we as a people basically have is from like the churches, the mosque, just like putting too much interference in our minds or something like that. So that's his thoughts. It's an idea. That's his thoughts. I'm not sure. Of course it's a story, so I'm not sure if he like actually feels that way, but I would imagine so, because that's like he's writing a story about that. So I mean, there's that, which again I disagree with, but I mean, hey, it's his opinion, it's his story, right? The other thing I didn't like about it that much was the relationship. Like the relationship seemed very kind of like it seemed very just kind of like spliced in, because it's a story in New York City in like the modern time, so we have to have, you know, that kind of thing, because it came out of left field, and it's like we didn't really, the story didn't really need that really. But if we're going to have like a sci-fi story about voices from outer space telling someone to burn the churches, of course you're going to have like you know, an LGBTQ you know, character in here. It just kind of it seems very kind of by the numbers, contemporary, very contemporary, leftist kind of a sci-fi story, really. And I don't know, it felt kind of tropey, like it's you know, that it felt to me, it was kind of like an eye rolly kind of thing of just like, okay, yeah, okay, there we go. And I don't like that, because it almost seems like it's a crutch to kind of put like, you know, one of those characters in here, and that be like their defining characteristic. It's not that they're like an interesting character, or there's like something like going on with them that kind of propels the story forward or anything like that. It's just that, nope, LGBTQ character here. So, but again, it's a short story. It had its entertaining moments. It was pretty pretty funny to be like a twisted kind of story that it is. Quick, easy listen to for me on the way to work and back, and yeah, that's kind of what it was. Yeah, 2 out of 5. We Travel the Spaceways by Victor LaVelle.